It's Cricbuzz Chatter, Adam Collins and Michael Vaughan. Stumps Day 1 here at Old Trafford, a great Ashes venue and a great Ashes day. 299 for 8 Australia at the close after being sent in. Australia would have bowled first as well on a surface that gave a little bit for everybody, nowhere near as quick as last week, but boy, the push and pull throughout, Vaughanie.
Yeah, and you've got the biggest temporary stand to our right, 8,500. I didn't get going. I just thought it was one of those days where, you know, England win the toss, you're thinking, oh, early wickets, Warner came out and played nicely. And every time there was a partnership, I was sat up in the commentary box saying, oh, here we go, they're in, they're going to go and get a big 100, it's going to be 400, 450. But there was always something there. There's just a little bit of movement there. Chris Woakes, magnificent once again. Stuart Broad with his 600. So it's been a sentimental day, I guess. Sentimental in a couple of ways. Stuart Broad with his 600 from the Jimmy Anderson end. Jimmy Anderson selected ahead of Josh Tongue. There's a talking point there, but I completely understand why England went with Jimmy Anderson because of what he's done in the past. And if there was ever a player that deserved a sentimental selection, Jimmy Anderson is that player. But once again, it's this Ashes series. Both teams just kind of jab at each other. No one goes for the knockout blow. It's been another thrilling Ashes days cricket because both teams are still in the game, and that's what you want to see.
The partnerships you referred to, so 46, 59, 63, 65 and 39, all of them were important in their own way, but none of them really went on. 4 Australian players were out between the scores of 41 and 51, and that includes Smith, Labuschagne, Mitchell Marsh and one other, but the point stands is that they were able to get starts. It wasn't like it was a minefield or anything like that, but England has bowled really well, especially Woakes, 4 wickets. We said it last week when we were at Leeds, what a great selection.
Yeah, no, I always think that you don't kind of judge a pitch until you've seen both bowling units, both batting teams bat on it, but there just seemed to be enough there, you know, and Chris Woakes is the master with the Duke ball in hand. He bowls that perfect length, he presents the seam perfectly for swing, but then when it's not swinging he starts wobbling the seam and he starts nipping it either way. Terrific kind of a skill level, but also that zip and that carry through to Bairstow was perfect. I think he's got 10 wickets at 19 apiece since he came into the Ashes series. Will England rue the fact that they didn't pick him at Lords? We'll have to wait and see over the next couple of weeks, but he's a under the radar player. We very rarely, at Headingley it was all about Mark Wood because he bowled 96.5 miles an hour. Then actually at the end of the week I looked at Chris Well and went, Jesus, his figures were pretty good and he got the runs. Again today he just sneaks under the radar because everyone's talking about Stuart Broad 600, Jimmy Anderson back in the team. But once again, who's produced the magic? Chris Woakes. He's a brilliant cricketer, particularly here in the UK.
Yeah, he's now got more than 100 wickets in England at an average of 22, which that tells the story. He's won a couple of World Cups as well, so talk about going under the radar with the record he's enjoyed. Marnus Labuschagne got to 51, so another innings where he's made a contribution, but there is now a glut of scores for him that goes back a fair while, where he's getting starts, he's getting in, but he's not moving into a position where he's able to be the match winner that they need him at 3.
I think Marnus is trying too hard. I think he's trying so hard just to kind of get this big score that he's forgetting to just play. I thought he played okay for his 50. I thought he was in, and then suddenly it's just that concentration. He did it last week at Headingley against Moeen where he played that sweep shot, he got out. Just that lapse in concentration. Today's dismissal against Moeen should not happen. To someone like Marnus, who's such a good player, to have that it must be just a little moment where he just loses his concentration, plays it a little bit too square on the onside, little bit of turn, nothing drastic. Marnus shouldn't be getting out, and I just wonder whether he's so desperate to get these big scores that he's sometimes forgetting just focus on the ball and play, just bat. He's such a good player. He's such a kind of a craftsman of a kind of problem solver. He's up there with Smith in terms of problem solving, and he left the ball better today. I think in the previous innings in the Ashes he jabbed at some balls on around 5th stump. I thought it was very clear to me today that he was trying to make sure that he knew where he was off stump, leave, let the ball come, work it on the onside, and he was set. But that was a big error to get out at that stage when he was in, and he's looking strong, particularly to that delivery. There were some good deliveries today. I thought Khawaja got a beauty, that one that nipped back. I thought that's an absolute peach of a delivery. You could say Warner's was a decent delivery. That nipped and went away from him. The 2 wickets in and over from Woakes to Green and then to Marsh, terrific deliveries. Marnus's delivery wasn't a great delivery. It's the one soft dismissal of the day.
And the other one who'll probably be frustrated is Travis Head, because he gets bombed at the start, does what he needs to do to get through that tough passage. When there's fielders all the way back, as you'd expect with Head at the moment, they're not packing the cordon. They move to plan B with a packed cordon, trying to get him out more conventionally. They move away back from that after tee. It's broad bowling from the Anderson end, and is it fifth ball of the session? Takes on a short one, gets caught down here at long leg, and it feels like for him he's missed an opportunity there to do as he did so well at Leeds last week. He's made 50s in all 4 Test matches, so it's didn't make one today, he fell too short, but you go back to the World Test Championship final where he was player of the match. He's in great nick. He's the number 2 player in the world, but couldn't get the timing quite right on when he was willing to go hard, and after tee probably isn't quite that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Travis's dismissal almost summed up the whole day. That you just felt that there was players in, they'd work to get to tee, and then straight after tee they lose a dismissal, Then Carey works, he works so hard to get to that second new ball, and then the first over the second new ball he's out. You kind of look at the whole day, and it was just a day where, as I said in the commentary box, when you relax and you thought 2 players are in, all of a sudden surprises you that there was a wicket that fell.
All told, a classic day where honours are shared. All right, let's go into the hot spot. In the hot spot, Stuart Broad, only the second seamer to collect 600 Test wickets. The symmetry of it happening from the James Anderson end, the only other man who's taken 600 as a seamer. Straight after tee, great celebration as you'd expect from Broad, who always steps up in Ashes contest. 18 wickets in this series, leading all comers on that measure so far. The question they want answered though, Vaughan, specifically, is can he overtake James Anderson? The number that I've been sent through is that when Anderson was at this part of his career, he was on 632 wickets. Anderson's up to, I think, 688. I think I know the answer to this, but I'm keen to hear you go through it.
Well, he can, because it all depends on how long he wants to play for. I don't think Jimmy's going to play that much longer. I honestly don't know what's in Stuart Broad's mind, but what I do know is that when the Ashes are on, Stuart Broad's on. Do I think Stuart's going to be around Australia in 25, 26? No. I don't think he'll be playing in that series. But
do you genuinely think he's playing against the Windies in Sri Lanka next year, or is he commentating?
I think he can do both. I think he can carry on playing if he wants to carry on playing. I think he can commentate as well on games and in the 100 and other aspects of white ball cricket. If I was him, and I would generally say this to him because I messaged him a bit, I would say carry on. If your body's fine and you're bowling well enough, you're in an England environment, and he's just done an interview on the radio, and he said this last 14 months, it's felt like when he played as a kid. Yeah. The Baz and Ben combination has really kind of stripped away all the nonsense that you find in Test match cricket and international sport, and they've told the players, this is the best time of your life, enjoy it, enjoy the game, take on the opposition, play fearlessly. And I genuinely feel he's absolutely loved playing cricket in the last 14 months, and I would say to him, play another year. It's not going to do you any damage. Play another year, play another 2 years if you can, because if you're in this environment, and this environment's not going to change, England aren't suddenly going to go back 2 or 3 years where it was a little bit serious, and England weren't quite playing the expansive game that they are playing now. But if I was him, and I can't tell him what to do, but he's bowling well enough, he's enjoying his cricket, and you're a long time retired. So why not maximise another couple of years doing that?
So what's he saying? Here's a chance. Right, before we go, let's press fast forward. Fast forward. My sense when England bowled first today is they are setting it up to take 20 wickets inside maybe even 2.5 days, knowing there's likely to be rain on days 4 and 5, heavy rain on day 4 and probably day 5 as well. So really the job for them is to take these 2, of course, but then bat very, very quickly tomorrow, surely. Yeah,
they'll come out, and the Baz bowlers will be, I would think, whatever the juice they take in the morning, they'll be getting double potions of it. I think they've got to be careful that they don't go too reckless and get bowled out for 150. I don't think that's the way that they can win the game. The way that England can win the game is to get somewhere near parity. If they can get to 50, 30, 60 or 70 in front, brilliant. If it's parity, that's absolutely fine as well. And then you throw the carrot to Australia in the 3rd innings of the match. What you're going to do, and what you're going to do not only in the game situation, but are you going to look at the clouds? Is the rain going to come in? I think it's going to be tricky. Like Manchester, the forecast pretty much every day of the year is rain. It doesn't rain every day of the year. It can be wrong. So over the weekend, everyone's saying, Saturday, Sunday, written off, there won't be a ball bowled. I reckon we'll see a bit of cricket. So I don't think England needs to be overly expansive, but Ben has spoken pretty openly that they'll play a game that makes sure that they do look at the weather apps and they do look at the forecast, and they'll take the game on and make sure that there is a result this week. I believe he'll do that. And they need a result as well. Remember, England need to win this week and next week to regain the Ashes. Perfectly set up at the close of play, day 1, Australia 299 for 8. We'll do it all again tomorrow. Follow it all on Cricbuzz Chatter. Adam Collins, Michael Vaughan. Good night.